talking about a Waterworld TV show.
When you sent me this link, I was just so, I had to like look at it twice and go like, what?
I know.
You know, I was like,
I know.
do what?
I know. Same here. I was like, what? What?
Yeah. It's such an odd thing. And I do have some ideas here. The big question, of course, is will Kevin Costner be in it? Well, I don't think he'll probably be in it, but hopefully we can at least get a cameo.
That'd be cool.
But the fact that this is taking place 20 years after the events of the film, they probably likely made it so far in the future so that they could bring Kevin Costner in. You know what I mean?
Right.
Why wait so long? Why have so many years other than to age his character enough so that it's believable?
Right. So yeah. So that Kevin Costner, you know, the way he looks would actually line up to what your timeline is. Can't de-age him so much, right?
And if you want some idea of what this movie's going to be or what this TV show is going to be like, the director is Dan Trachtenberg, who did 10 Cloverfield Lane and also The Boys.
And I do love The Boys.
Right. And so that kind of gives you an idea that he's talented. And this could be interesting. Now, my question is, at the end of the Waterworld movie, Kevin Costner goes back into the ocean and everybody else basically stays on land. Remember?
Right.
So they found land. So
dry land. Remember?
Dry land, right. And of course, you know, he was born for the sea, I guess. So he went back to the sea. But what I find odd about it is like, what's the story now? Like, what happens now? They found land. You know, I mean, like, the whole point of Waterworld was to find land.
Well, I like the idea of it being 20 years in the future, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because I've always wanted to know, I always wanted the story of what they're going to do when they got to build a society now on this tiny, they don't have very much land. You know, it's not
we don't know exactly how big it is, though. It's obviously an island.
I mean, it's an island. It's now an island, right? And they got to build a site. So 20 years in the future, we get to see the society built. And what about, there's got to be more than just one mutant out there, right?
Yeah, of course.
I'll tell you why I know for a fact there's got to be more than one mutant. Because when they first introduced Kevin Costner to that little settlement, they freak out because he's a mutant.
Right.
They've seen other mutants before. It wasn't just Costner's mutant, right? And they immediately try to kill it.
They would have been more curious than freaked out, right?
Right. So like immediately they freak out. They're like, "Oh, mutant!" And they're like, they're gonna kill the mutant. Dude, guys, that means there are other mutants out there, other mariners. There isn't just Kevin Costner's mutant. We only see a small, honestly, a tiny portion of this massive universe. We see the bad guys, the smokers. We see one society just get decimated, right?
Right.
We know there's a whole string of societies because, like, they were talking about going to see these people or those people, and and went to go see one, and the station was all messed up by smokers. So there's a whole world to get into here, right? To learn about, and it might not be that that's the only dry land. We don't even what mountain range was that? Because like if it isn't Everest, then Everest is dry land.
Well, this is also way into the future,
right? So
it may not be. You know, things happen, things change.
Yeah. What if the waters recede a little bit? What if there's multiple little patches of dry land, multiple mariners? Now there's two types of humans that are living on whatever left of dry land. Bunch of mariners left.
They can do whatever they want, which is kind of the cool thing about it. But it is Waterworld, the TV show, so there better be a whole lot of water. That's all I'm going to say. You know,
I'm not saying you recede. I'm just saying that I don't know if that is. We only know about that one patch of dry land.
Right.
But like I said, unless that is Mount Everest, then there's some other dry land out there, right? Even if 99% of the world is covered by water, that 1% leaves plenty of, leaves the other dry land you can get to. But then also a giant planet where smokers aren't the worst thing out there, where there are multiple mariners, multiple settlements, multiple cruise ships that survive that might have entire families living on them. Who knows? Talk about a universe that is ripe with content, right? And good sci-fi content that isn't about aliens. Like sci-fi content on this planet, and there's so much you can go with here. So much you can learn about. Who knows? There might be entire governments out there. What if the U.S. government, Chinese government saw it happening, built floating pavilions? We don't know. There's so much you can man, I can't remember the word, but investigate, learn about, sort of like, enrich in this rich world, this universe. I mean, you can make a whole TV show, and if it's popular, you can make more movies, man.
It's a good point. What I think is funny is I don't know if they ever thought about this, but even if all the polar ice caps melted and all the ice on the planet melted, I don't think there would be that much water.
Right. The
entire Earth. So you're probably right that there's probably a lot more land.
Right. So there's probably a lot more land. Yes. Now, instead of the world being 70% water, now it's 89% water. Right. Whatever.
And they just couldn't find it for whatever reason.
Well, yeah, maybe because the Earth is giant, and you guys find these little patches of islands out there somewhere. Who knows? I mean, there are people in the real world with maps that get lost at ocean, right?
Yeah,
they get lost in the ocean and can't find their way to dry land. So, all I'm saying, let's say even if the world did fill up, the ice caps melting, fill up the world with water. My problem is this: unless that dry land was Everest, scientifically speaking, at the very least, we know there's still an Mount Everest dry land out there, right? The Himalayas. Yeah. There's, and by the way, Everest is not like, there's plenty of extremely tall, summits there next to Mount Everest. What about all those? I mean, there's plenty to deal with. There's plenty to work with here in this universe, in my opinion.
This is actually pretty funny, not to go against, because of course they can do whatever they want. But it says here that, what is this? AMNH.com, American Museum of Natural History. It says here, will the world ever be all underwater because of the ice melting? And the geologist Ed Mathes answers it. If all the ice covering Antarctica, Greenland, and in the mountain glaciers around the world were to melt, sea level would rise about 230 feet or 70 meters. 230 feet. So the ocean would cover all the coastal cities and land area would shrink significantly, but many cities like Denver would survive. So yeah, maybe not realistic as Waterworld, because I mean, we are assuming that Waterworld is the Earth, right?
Yeah.
Did they ever say that? Is it ever like, is Waterworld the Earth?
I don't know. I think they showed it though. I think they showed the Earth.
Did they show you? I can't. It's been so long since I've seen it.
Now I gotta go. Now I really want to go watch that movie.
I'm looking at it here. Is Waterworld the Earth? I just looked it up. It says here that the setting of the film is in the distant future. The polar ice cap is completely melted, and the sea level has risen over 25,000 feet. So somebody didn't do the math before they wrote this script.
All right. So maybe that's the case. Maybe, which means that just proves they can do whatever they want.
Yeah. Well, and that's fine. You know what? We can suspend our disbelief long enough to believe that the world is covered in water.
Yeah. Waterworld was just a remake of Mad Max.
Well, it was Mad Max on the water. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, basically.
In my opinion, I actually liked it more. I know a lot. When the movie, quote unquote, bombed, but it wasn't entirely because of the movie. At the time, there was some real bad press around Kevin Costner, and
there was bad press that they spent too much on the movie, and
a lot going on. But that movie ended up making its money back over time. In fact, made a massive profit over time. It has a massive cult following.
Right. Well, the domestic box office was only 80 million, and it cost 150 million to make it, which is why they were saying it was a flop.
I mean, what a work of art, though. You made, like, these were practical effects. They shot a lot of that on water, not in a soundstage, guys. Like, this was on the ocean. They built elaborate sets and boats and crazy stuff. Like, I mean, this is not. We're not ever gonna see movies like that ever again. Like because
not without lots of CGI and stuff.
Yeah, not a ton of CGI. Yeah. And let's be honest, Dennis Hopper. Is that his name? Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper was awesome. What a great villain that was.
Yeah, he's always been great.
Straightforward. You knew his motivations. You know. Yeah, he had this very dictator vibe. Like you also like, oh, maybe he's not that bad of a guy. And every time you would think that he would do something horrible, you're like, oh, nope, he's a bad guy.
He's a bad guy.
Yeah,
100%.
All right,
I'm looking forward to it. So when are we expected to get it here? That's the what I missed. Waterworld. It's in the works right now. So we are looking at. That's just in the works.
In the works.
So we don't have a time frame yet. It looks like they're still looking for a streaming part. Well, it's Universal.
It's going to be on Peacock, I think. If it's Universal.
Okay, yeah, it says the show is being set up at Universal Television, is reportedly close to having a streamer in place. So it's not necessarily going to be Peacock.
But Universal is Peacock.
Well, NBC, Universal, right. But it says that there is no streamer in place yet. So according to the article, so it's not for sure that the way that's going to go down.
Yeah, maybe they'll try to sell it to Netflix or Amazon. You know, Netflix would buy this in a heartbeat. Netflix will buy anything.
Well, so far it's just Trachtenberg that's in this right now, and they're supposed to have writers in the next couple weeks to start the scripts.
Cool. I can't wait. And let us know what you think. Did you like Waterworld? Have you seen it? If you haven't seen it, I envy you. Go watch it. And let us know what you think about a TV show.
Thanks for watching. To see the full conversation, become a member of the Popcast family. Use the link in the description below or go to our channel and click the join button. Select your tier and we'll see you at the next show.